Hey, shalom, shalom. Hey, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. A double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing this gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. A peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, fall upon your houses. A Lord will. This lesson is edifying, Lord will. It is straight to the point. Hey, but our job, as watchmen, is to do exactly that. We are to watch, and as it says in Ezekiel 3:17, we're to give you warning, from the Most High, right? So what we do is we pay attention to the current events or the events that are happening or have happened, throughout the earth, and we ultimately, through the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, give you the signs the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, had told us about in the scriptures. We show you these signs through these events, current events that have or are happening as of right now, and let you know the times that we're in, right? And the current time that we're in is the time of Jacob's trouble, which is also the time where Esau Edom is ultimately going to, try and establish this one world order that he is aiming to, basically bring forth. He's had this plan, and he's had this, basically in planning for decades, maybe hundreds of years, and now we're starting to ultimately see this damn devil really start to, put it out there plainly that this is what he's trying to do. So I seen this article. It says Davos elites warn painful global transition should not be resisted by nation states, right? And we're going to read, a little bit of this, probably these first three paragraphs, and we're going to, grab some scriptures. We'll go back and forth, again, Lord will is edifying, Lord will straight to the point. It says, as World Economic Forum head Klaus Schwab. Now, this dude and another dude named Yuval Noah, and I can't remember his last name. These are basically the two head dudes that have basically been going, a lot recently in the news. And I'm not talking about regular news. I'm talking about alternative news sites and stuff like that. Brother's been posting videos about these two dudes, about them really coming out and talking about this charagma, man. Because this is what this is the way, that this world is ultimately heading, right? It's heading towards, this charagma, which ultimately allows for, Esau Edom, beginning with the elites on down, the elites, the sub-elites, so on and so forth, to be able to monitor and to control, your everyday life. They want your, as of right now, and it's starting with the CBDCs, right? The central bank digital currencies, so they're getting all these nations on board, with this central bank digital currency, which then, they'll get rid of the cards, and they'll get rid of this, that, and the third, and ultimately push everything, to this RFID chip, which will have your wallet, your digital wallet attached to it. It'll have your your medical records and so on and so forth. You'll be able to unlock your car door, unlock your house, and many other things. Will you be able to do with it? The ultimate goal is to connect everyone to the IoT, the Internet of Things, right? So this is what they've been talking about, in the news, for a while, right? It says right here, as World Economic Forum head Klaus Schwab proclaimed that the future is built by us at the opening of an annual Davos gathering. Two other European elites declared that the global energy crisis is a transition that will be painful for most, but should not be resisted by nations tempted to preserve their own sovereignty over the global agenda, right? And they know that this is going to, only going to get worse. Esau Edom, they have this, and the elder apostles, man, have been talking about it a lot lately. The order ab chaos, the order out of chaos, right? So they have to ultimately create, a situation that would create chaos, right? And at the same time as they're, creating this chaos, they're ultimately building that solution, right? So when things get out of hand and people are looking to their government for a solution, they already have it pre-planned, right? They're ultimately in control of, everything, right? They control the chaos. They wanted to get to a certain level to where everybody is looking to the government. That's the point where they're like, okay, cool, now we can push out this solution, right? So they create the chaos, they create the solution, and they're the ones that are, playing it out, right? 2 Corinthians 2:11. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We understand, what he is doing, right? And this is ultimately to further his, as it says right here, his global agenda, right? It says Schwab called those summoned before him a powerful community and declared, we have the means to improve the state of the world by two conditions. It says, but two conditions are necessary. The first one is that we act all as stakeholders of large communities so that we serve not only our self-interest, but we serve the community. That's what we call stakeholder responsibility. And second, that we collaborate, he continued adding, and this is the reason why you find many opportunities here during the meeting to engage into action and impact initiatives to make progress related to the specific issues on the global agenda, right? So they basically want everybody to get on the same page, to collaborate, to talk with one another. Okay, what do we got to do, to take the next steps? How are we ultimately going to ease this in? Because this is what Esau Edom wants. He wants to be able to ease it in, rather than just, force it on the people, because then it would cause more problems. Esau Edom wants he wants to take the path of the least resistance, right? And this is why we see now Esau Edom is starting to, take away, starting to really focus on gun rights, right? He's creating these situations, that would, have these people, ultimately wanting to give up their guns. You had a video of a dude talking about, oh, he gave up his guns and this, that, and third, and he hopes that it would create a movement. He knows it's not going to change the Second Amendment, and this, that, and the third, man. This is what they want, though. They want to be able to suck it. They want to be able to, eliminate as much resistance as they can, right? And this is the path that Esau Edom is taking, right? And he wants to, which we ultimately know that there's going to be a lot of resistance, especially, Esau Edom himself, right? There's going to be a lot of resistance, right? Which is ultimately, you're trying to take away Esau Edom's, his blessing, right? His sword, which is not going to happen, man. And then that's ultimately going to create a civil war. Now I want to grab this real quick, just on that point. It's Isaiah 19 and verse 3. It says, in the spirit, it's like verse 19 and verse 2, right? Isaiah 19 and 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's going into that civil war, right? That's ultimately going to be caused because Esau Edom wants to, wants the least resistance when he actually comes down and pushes it, right? Because Revelation 13 and 16 says that he causeth all, which you go into that word cause, it goes into make, right, to force, right? So eventually Esau Edom is going to force this. Right now he's just in the stages of introducing it, and he's really, he's really in the stage of deceiving the people to take it, right? Because we know that Revelation, the 19th chapter, the 20th verse, that there are going to be some that are going to be deceived to take it, right? So he's in that process as well, right? As of right now, but soon he's going to, he's not going to get enough people to take it. He's not going to get enough people to, basically bow down to his system. So what's going to happen is he's ultimately going to force it. He's going to come down having great, that great wrath and force everybody to take it, right? And this all flows into, his one world order. This is what he wants, right? It's to everybody to be on the same page. This is why that's why he's gonna try to deceive the people as he's doing right now, and then he's gonna force it. He wants everybody on the same page, which goes into goes into that one world order. Everybody has to bow down to his system. Now I want to grab this precept real quick, and I got it right here on my other phone, so I'm just gonna read it to y'all. This is Daniel, the 3rd chapter. We're not gonna read too much of this. We'll basically get the point, and then we'll get out of here, or we'll go on to the next, continue reading this article. It says Daniel 3 and verse 1. It says Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image. Daniel 3 and 1. It says Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold, and that king, is symbolic, for the elites today, right? And it says made an image of gold, right? Which that image today would ultimately be, that Greco-Roman lifestyle, which is being pushed today, right? The image of the beast, right? So this is what is symbolic, because these things that happened in ancient times, they apply today, right? It's just in poetic form, right? It's a parable, as of back then, it was literal. He literally made King Nebuchadnezzar, which is the king of Babylon at the time, literally made a golden image, and wanted everyone to bow down to it. But that same situation plays out just in a different form today, right? It says, whose height was 3 cubits and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then, that's real spiritual, because this happened in ancient Babylon. And guess what? We're seeing that same thing again, just in a different form, playing out in modern day Babylon, right? The daughter of Babylon, right? The virgin daughter of Babylon, right? Which will be America, right? It says, verse 2, it says, then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the province to come and dedicate to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up, right? So all these high-ranking people, were coming together, and basically conspiring together, about this system, and everybody bowing down, which is what we see right here at this Davos, man. Everybody's coming together and everybody's getting on the same page. This Klaus Schwab, you know what I mean? And so to speak, this is just, putting it in my own words. Klaus Schwab is acting like this king, which I'm not saying that he is, but he's, in the position of acting like this king, saying, hey, this is what we need to do. We need everybody to get on, on board, and it's going to be painful, but, everybody's going to have to do it, Continuing on in Daniel's the third chapter, verse 4, it says, then and the herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, right? So this is everybody, right? And as he's saying, everybody needs to get on board with this global agenda, right? Which is what is ultimately being, set up, right? Is this global agenda where everybody's in the same page. Everybody's basically connected to the same, everybody in the world is connected to the IoT, to where, the beginning with the elites on down can monitor and control everything that everyone is doing, right? They want to be God, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 4, right? Esau Edom really believes that he is God, right? So he's putting himself in the position to be God, when in reality, he's just a man, right? Verse 5, it says that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up, right, man? So basically, hey, when they tell you to get on their knees or get on your knees, hey, you gonna get on your knees, man. That's basically what they want. When you're told to do something, they want you to do it right then and there. It says, verse 6, and whoso falleth not down and worship shall the same hour be cast in the midst of a burning fiery furnace. Right, man, that goes right to Revelations, the 13th chapter, the 15th verse, man. Matter of fact, let me grab that and we'll come back, right? Revelations chapter 13 and verse 15, because this is eventually what's going to happen. When they started doing this, little by little, which we'll go into, is Revelations 13 and 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, right? Again, and we were just reading that, right? The image of gold, back in the time of the Nebuchadnezzar, is today the image of the beast, right? Right. So which is going into that Roman Greco lifestyle, right? That they want you to ultimately bow down to. It says that the image of the beast shall both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? So that's exactly what's going on, man. That it's ultimately starting to speak. Everything's being, basically put into order. Basically everything's being put, in its place to, basically for their agenda to start, being, I guess, ruled out. Right, and then it says, as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right, man? And I remember the elder Yashawama, this is where I got the breakdown from, man. Very wise elder, man. Elder Yashawama from the Dallas camp. And he went into that word killed, right, which goes into the word apopteno, right, which goes into kill, but then you go into that root word apo, which goes into what? To be separated by distance, right? Separated by physical distance. And that started, when the scamdemic hit, they were separating everybody by 6 feet, man. So if you had, everybody behind you 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet, hey, that goes to just 666, right? So that's the MARK, or the number of the beast, man. So this lets you know that Esau Edom lets you know that Esau Edom, he's in control of all these things, man. He's the one that's bringing forth or putting forth this agenda to further establish or to eventually fully establish his NWO, which we ultimately know that, according to the words of Yahweh Shem Shai, is not going to happen. He'll never be able to fully establish his NWO, but this is what he's trying to do, right? And eventually, it's not going to be just, physical distance, man. When Esau Edom comes down, and like a flood, what's going to happen? Those that literally do not want to, be a part of this system are going to be killed, physically killed, man, and that could be, by these guillotines or which they already have. They purchase hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of guillotines, to literally behead those, that don't want to, follow this this system. That and some of those men, women, and children are going to be, part of the elect, as we read in Revelations, the 20th chapter, man. Those that were beheaded, for the name of the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai, right? Which those are ultimately, again, those are going to be, those are the elect members, guaranteed, because they're standing stiffly for the name of Yahweh Shem El Shai, no matter what the situation. And this is what we're seeing is going to take place. Esau Edom is going to come down, right? Because as I stated before, Esau Edom is in a position to, try to deceive a lot of people into taking it, but there's not going to be enough, right? So he's eventually going to have to come down. Now I want to go back to Daniel's the 3rd chapter and get that verse 7. Daniel's 3 and 7. Right, going back, I'll read verse 6 again. It says, "And whoso falls not down and worship, shall the same hour be cast in the midst of a burning fiery furnace," right? Be killed, right? Verse 7 says, "Therefore at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshiped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up." This is his ultimate plan, right? For everybody to worship Esau Edom, right? And his system, right? That beast system, right? Which again is that Greco-Roman type lifestyle, right? So we're reading that in this article right here. This is what they're basically hinting at. A lot of these words. I know some of these words, right? Just inside joke, but a lot of these words will go over people's heads, man. Hey, but you got the prophets out here that understand these words, right? Can see right through Esau Edom's lies and can and know his agenda, through the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai. And again, as I stated in the very beginning, we're giving you warning, right? We're telling you, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai, through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem El Shai, what is coming, right? Now I want to keep reading down. And it says right here, it says, and I'm not going to play these videos. Y'all can ultimately go, on Blacklisted News and or you can type in this this header and look it up, right? But it says right here, it says, as further discussions progressed Monday, German Vice Chancellor Robert Habeck spoke about the energy crisis, warning that governments of individual nations should not seek to protect their own citizens, but instead follow the rule of the markets, right? So, hey, these nations are at this point, these heads are basically at this point, they're saying, what, fuck our people, screw the citizens, screw this and the third. Hey, they understand that there's, for their agenda to be, established, that there's going to be there's going to have to be a lot of death, man. There has to be a lot of death. There's got to be starvation. There's got to be, mass murder, suicide. It just, however it happens, there's got to be a lot of it, right? Because Esau Edom, his whole agenda is that there's, he wants the world to be, the population of the world to be at 500 million, right? And then we know that the world's almost at 7 billion or almost at 8 billion. So that's roughly about 7.5 billion people to be put to death. And Esau Edom knows that he can't just kill all those people, right? That'll make him look bad. So how he's going to do it is he's going to create these situations that these people are not going to understand, who's doing it, who's causing it, right? They just think that, the world's just going to shits, right? When in reality, yes, the world is going to shits, right? Because it's the end of Esau Edom's, rulership, the end of Esau Edom's world. But they're not understanding that the same people that are in charge of these governments, they're the ones that are participating in this, and they're sitting here looking to their governments for help, but their governments are saying, "Hey, we don't have this, we don't have resources, we don't have this, that, and the third. All you're blaming it on other countries and so on and so forth, right? Because all these countries are blaming it on Russia, right? And what that's going to do is, have the people to hate, the wrong person, right? Hating, they're looking at the wrong people. It's your own governments that are doing these things, man. Your own governments are basically shutting down, the trade, shutting down, these, these shipping yards, where they got all this, these shipping containers are coming in with all these goods and stuff like that, the food, stuff like that, and they're not having it being shipped out, right? So again, this is all it's like all Esau Edom's doing, man, and again, they can't be the ones to go out here and kill 7.5 billion people, right? So what they're doing is creating situations where people would ultimately starve, people would ultimately, die of different causes other than them, right? They don't want to be that bad guy, when in reality, they're the bad guy. Slack it, which it goes deeper than that, Slack it. I'm gonna take a drink real quick. Which it goes deeper than that, man. It goes all the way back to the Most High, man. Proverbs 21 and verse 1, it says, "The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai, and as rivers of water, he turneth to, however he will, man." So Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai is having Esau Edom do this, man. And I made a video not too long ago, and the Lord's killing two birds with one stone, right? So he's having Esau Edom, ultimately, do things that are going to further his agenda, but then he's also, at the same time dishing out that judgment, beginning at the house of the Most High, man. And a lot of these things that are happening, such as all these, these mass shootings and stuff like that. Yeah, Esau Edom might have his hand in, maybe one or two or three or four of them, but all these mass shootings is because the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai is having it happen, man. Just helping Esau Edom further his agenda, at the same time dishing out that judgment, right? Killing two birds with one stone. Right, and this is what we're saying. This is the time that we're coming into, man. Jacob's trouble is gonna be like no other, as it says in Jeremiah the 3rd. Matter of fact, let me grab it, man. I want to keep quoting scriptures. I want to bring them out, man. This is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. It says, matter of fact, I'll start at verse 5. It says, "For thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem El Shai, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not peace." Right? It says, "Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned to paleness," right? Because it's going to be a very fearful day, man. You're going to see not only is Esau Edom going to come down, but there's going to be pestilence, there's going to be famines, right? There's going to be murder, there's going to be a whole bunch of things because there's not enough food, right? We read that in the 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, where people are going to break into the neighbor's house for tribulation and for a lack of bread, man. There's going to be a lot of break-ins. There's going to be a lot of, basically lawlessness is going to take place, man. It's going to be a very, very, for those that are, don't have that hedge of protection, those that are not, participating in this gospel, in this doctrine, and fearing Yahweh Shem El Shai and trusting and believing Yahweh Shem El Shai, and in this time proving their faith in Yahweh Shem El Shai by their works. And it's a fearful time for those people, man. Because as it says in verse 7, it says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it." And we're talking about in history, man. Since the world began, there's never been a day, or there never will be a day, that'll be like the day that's coming, right? Or, the so-called day that's coming, which Jacob's trouble is going to, we're already in the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble, right? So it's obviously longer than, a day, but it's just, a figure of speech, so to speak, man, right? So that period of time, Jacob's trouble is going to be unfucking believable, man. It's going to be we're talking about, again, since the world began, there was never been a day, no matter the famines that have happened, no matter the wars and destruction that has ever happened, it's not going to be like Jacob's trouble, right? It says, "But he shall be saved out of it." Speaking of the elect, right? I'll read it again, verse 7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble," right? So all Israel is going to have to go through this, man. Really the whole world is going to have to go through this, as it states in Revelation, the 3rd chapter, the 10th verse, right? It's a time to try the whole world, right? We ultimately know that this is a time to try the faith of the Israelites, right? And we know that out of the Israelites, which is God, it's the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahshai's chosen nation. Only the elect of that chosen nation are going to be delivered out of it, right? Because in this time, 2/3 of our people are not taking heed to this word. They're not going to listen. They're not going to, return, to Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, right? Only a remnant is going to return. Isaiah the 10th chapter 21 and 22, right? Only a remnant is going to return, right? And they're the ones that he says, but he shall be saved out of it. They're the ones that are ultimately going to be delivered out of this time, right? Which is going to be a hell of a time, man, But I want to continue to read this article. It says, in other words, countries need to fall into the line with globalist Great Reset agenda, right? So they want everybody to fall in line, man. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. You either fall in line or you get taken out. Or as far as governmental leaders, if you don't fall in line, hey, guess what's going to happen? They're going to create a situation that makes you look bad, and then they're going to take you out. Right, beginning with the elites, they're the ones that are going to, they want everybody in line, right? So the elites will have a situation set up to where you look bad now. They'll remove you out of power, and then they'll set up their own or a government that's going to be in line with their agenda, man. So they don't care. They don't give a fuck who you are, man. They'll take you out if you don't want to, if you don't want to bend over and take it in the ass, man. That's basically what Esau Edom is doing, right? So we'll keep reading. It says, during another discussion, Norwegian finance CEO Kirsten Brothen described global energy upheaval as a transition, while admitting there will be a mass shortage. While admitting there will be mass shortages and economic hardship, but claiming the pain is worth it. Right. So these people, these elites, they don't give a fuck, man. They understand that they have to sacrifice the lives of many to establish their NWO, which again, this is the Lord. This is what the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is doing, man. He knows that he's trying to ultimately the whole, what Yahweh Shem Shai is doing is he's purging the world of this wickedness, man, of these wicked ass people, man. And again, he's having Esau Edom do it, which is his sword, man. Esau Edom is the Lord's weapon, man. And the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai is using that weapon, Socket precept just ran, it went in and went out of my my brain, man. So I forgot it. It's like your Lord will come back. It says, interesting that this Davos elitist used the exact same phrasing as Joe Biden on the same day, which it wasn't exact, but it is what it is, right? And I'll just quote what he said. It says, when it comes to the gas prices, we're going through an incredible transition, right? So it's they're working their way in, right, to this NWO. And it says journalist Andrew Lawton, which is the dude you see at the bottom, documented more of Davos cabal drooling over the possibilities for global control for their Great Reset could engender. Right, it says, which I've seen this video before. Brothers have posted it. Basically, he's basically talking about the Charagma, man. Where they're ultimately starting to introduce a like it says right here. It says individual carbon footprint tracker, right, to monitor what you buy, what you eat, and where and how you travel, right, which is going into the Charagma, man. They want to be in control of all things, right? We go to Revelations, the 13th verse, or the 13th chapter, the 16th verse, and it says right here, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a thing in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the thing, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, right? So you're not going to be able to travel. You're not going to be able to buy and sell, go into these markets, this, that, and the third, unless you have that Charagma, right? Which we saw the beginning stages of that. Esau Edom was basically gathering up data when this Icky Vicky came about, man. When that serpent's juice, when they were pushing out and ruling out that serpent's juice, and over in France, they had a lot of videos coming out that people were getting beat up by the local police, if they didn't have their V card or whatever, man, or if you didn't have proof of the jab, then guess what, man? You were getting beat up and taken, arrested, and this and the third, and they were forced force jabbing people and this, that, and the third. They were doing a lot of that, man. So Esau Edom was ultimately, that was a trial run, for the Charagma, man. That was just a fucking trial run, man. And now Esau Edom has his data. He has who's going to bend to his will, who's not, right? So Esau Edom is now, okay, cool. So this is our data. This is what we can. Saki Esau Edom is listening, man. He's listening, man. But they have their data. They have everything set up. Okay, cool. This is what we can do. Now we just gotta inch it along. And then we're seeing that everything is ultimately speeding up, right? Esau Edom is really starting to, dig in, man. But nonetheless, this is where, we're coming to that time where Esau Edom is about to force it, which again is Jacob's trouble, man. And it says, which we can skip that. Right, there's many things that, that are ultimately playing in, how Esau Edom is ultimately, really, about to, because, his agenda plays on, this, like I just caught a glimpse of the, that free speech and this and the third. And, because he wants to be able to stop the mouths of those, stop the mouths of the prophets, man, because the prophets are out here, revealing his agenda, man, and warning you people about what this damn devil is doing, man. And Esau Edom doesn't want that to happen. He wants to be able to slip this in there. It's like he wants to be able to slip it in there as calmly and soundly or soundless as possible, man. But hey, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is not going to allow that to happen, man. He sent his prophets out here to let you know what's going on and warn you what is going on and about what this damn devil is doing, man. Because it's not going to be easy. And the only way that you're going to be able to get out of that time is if the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is with you, right? Because we go to, what is it? It's like Isaiah, the 59th chapter, right? 59th chapter in the 19th verse, right? It says right here, it says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, which was Esau Edom, in his military, whether it be a foreign military, local military, however it may be, right? He might even hire, some, what are those fucking dudes called? Not missionaries. He might hire his own, little crew or whatever, from other countries or whatever it may be, man. Mercenaries. There we go. Mercenaries, right? He might hire some mercenaries, he might hire some mercenaries that just really don't give a fuck, man. They just want to get paid, right? That'll come in and be that, be a part of those ones that come in like a flood, right? It says the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. And the Spirit of the Lord, you need the Lord, man. You're going to need the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai to be able to, get out of that time. Because, you got a lot of Jakes, even those that know that they're Israel that are in these camps, such as Sakari and ISUPK and so on and so forth, that are picking up these guns, which that's Esau's blessing, man. You really think that you're going to be able to use his blessing, which he has perfected. He's absolutely perfected on every fucking level. He has mastered the carnal level on every level. You really think that you're going to be able to pick up his blessing and use it against him? No, man. That's not going to happen. You might get a couple shots off, but your ass is going to be riddled with fucking bullets, man. You're not going to be able to defeat this nigga. A nigga is not going to be able to defeat somebody who's perfected a fucking, their blessing, man. It's not going to happen. But yet you got these people out here doing it, right? So you think that you're going to be able to, protect yourself? No, you're going to need Yahweh Shai to protect you, man. You can have 5 Navy SEALs take out 200-300 niggas in a matter of a day, man. Easy. We're talking about easy, man. And that's with niggas having guns, multiple guns. You take all the gangbangers, right? And you take like maybe 4 or 5 squads, Esau Edom's, best, right? Or maybe not, it don't even have to be his best, right? You take these average you take a militia, right? Esau Edom's militia. You take one group, you take all the gangbangers in the fucking, in America, and you put them up against one Edomite militia. I can tell you right now that one militia is going to take out all those gangbangers, right? Because these gangbangers are untrained. They think that they're the baddest motherfucker. They shoot sideways. They don't aim, right? Esau, Edom, all he needs is one bullet. One fucking bullet to take you out. Let him have a 100 round drum. That's 100 motherfuckers that are going to die. He might double tap you, right? So that might be 50, you know? It might be 50 people he takes out, but that's just one drum, man. That's one dude, right? You might get one shot off, but I'm gonna tell you right now, you might not hit him, man. So you're gonna need Yahweh Shai, man. You know, you got these fucking camps out here. You know, they're carnal as fuck, man. You know, you're being carnal, man. Matter of fact, let me grab that real quick, man. You know, because we have to be spiritual. We can't be carnal, man. This is Romans 8. Is I'll start at verse 5. It says, "For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit." Right? And these camps, you know, ISUPK, Sakari, they're carnal minded. They're fleshly minded, man. You know. It says right here, verse 6, "For to be carnally minded, fleshly minded, is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace," man. Come on, man. Hey, so you got to be spiritually minded, man. You can't be out here being carnal as fuck, man. Because that shit will lead to you being put to death. You thinking that you can use a carnal weapon against a carnal weapon? No, that's not going to happen, man. You know, Lord Yahweh Shem El Shah will bow you down to the slaughter, as he says in Isaiah the 65th chapter, verse 12. He will number you to the sword, and you will be bowed down to the slaughter, right? Verse 7, it says, because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. Right? So then verse 8, so then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit, if so be that the spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Yahweh Shai, he is none of his, right, man? You know, so hey, we're gonna be spiritual, man. And our weapon is you know, as it says in the scriptures, man, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, right? So our weapon is not the modern day sword, which is the gun. Our weapon is the words of Yahweh Shai, man. Scriptures talk about how this the word of Yahweh Shai is a two-edged sword, right? Let's go ahead and grab that. In Hebrews 4:12, right? It says, "For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword." Right, the modern day sword is the gun. Hey, so the words of Yahweh Shem El Shai is stronger and more powerful and sharper and cuts deeper than any fucking goddamn gun today, man. You know, it says piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So, hey, the words of Yahweh Shem El Shai are stronger, man. You know, so why would you rely on something that ultimately can't, you know, deliver you from the times to come, right? Only Yahweh Shai can deliver you from the times to come, man. You know, these jakes out here, you're done for, man. You know, so again, you're going back to a point. You need Yahweh Shai, and the only ones that he, as we read in Isaiah 59:19, it's like the only ones that he's going to raise up that standard for is those that are part of the elect, man. Which Lord will, you know, we can be part of the elect. And that standard is going to get raised up. You go into that word standard means to put to flight, right? Or to escape, right? So Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai could do that in many different ways, you know, including giving, you know, that man spiritual power to get out of that situation, and or possibly sending an angel to get you out of that situation, man. There's many different ways the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai can do it, man. Those are just a couple of many different ways the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai very well could get you out of those situations, man. You know? And brothers have had multiple visions about, and we're talking about multiple visions the past year and some change, really, you know, past few years, you know, in the time of the scamdemic, you know, began, you know, even before. Hey, we're talking about brothers, and it's just increased more lately, right? Brothers have had many visions of the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai giving them spiritual power, you know, open up a random door appearing, you know, and then they walking right through it, or an angel coming and protecting the building that they're in, or many different ways, man. Many different ways. And we don't necessarily know exactly how the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai is going to do it, you know, but like I said, scriptures say, man, we know in part, we prophesy in part, man. You know, we know that he is going to do it. We just don't know how, right? But this is the time that we're coming into, man, you know, and it's required of us to keep the faith in order for us to be delivered, in order for us to be saved, right? Because as it says in 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter, that those that prove their works by their faith, whereby they have believed, shall be saved, man. Saved from the times to come and delivered from the destruction that is to come, right? The ICBM nuclear missiles and the chariots coming and cutting the people asunder, man, right? We need to keep the faith, man. We need to be able to continue to walk through these times, knowing the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is going to deliver us, man, because we're doing what we're told, right? And we don't necessarily know, but that's that faith, man. You hope and you pray, right? I remember the elder apostles, man. They said it in a live stream, or not a live stream. They were doing a street teaching, a while back, man. I can't remember what video they did, but the elder apostles, they were like, we know we're gonna be saved, right? That's that faith, man, that we gotta have. We have to have that type of faith. That's next level faith, man. You have to understand and know that the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai said, those that call it. Matter of fact, let me grab this. Sirach, the 2nd chapter, in the 10th verse. It says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any ever abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? And the answer is no. The Lord Yahweh Shem Shai has never forsaken anybody that's called upon his name in truth and in sincerity, and obviously in faith, Never in the scriptures will you ever find a prophet or an apostle or disciple or whoever it may be, that called upon the name of the Lord and was forsaken. He said, I'm not going to help you this time. You could just die. No, we never did that, man. So we have to know that the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, because we're calling upon the proper name, and this is all through faith, right? This is a faith-based doctrine, right? We're all faith-based, right? None of these camps are pushing faith, right? They're all pushing being in the world. They're all pushing defending yourself, this, that, and the third, not pushing prophecy, right? They're pushing parties and this, that, and the third, they're pushing P out here, man, whatever, man. But anyways, they're not doing what, according to the scriptures, man, so they're not the proper group to follow. A great millstone is, man, beginning with the head elder apostles on down. And we have the 100% truth, man. We're guiding you in the way that you need to go in order to, obviously through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, in the way that you need to go in order to be delivered, man. That's what it's about, man. We don't want to fucking just, we don't want to build here in America, man. We want to be delivered. Fuck this place, man. We're wanting Esau Edom to push his agenda, man. Because the more that he pushes his agenda and comes down, the closer we get to, that deliverance and Lord willing, being part of the elect, being delivered and being in the kingdom, man, being part of those first fruits, having that first dominion, man, being able to sit there as men with Yahweh Shai and drinking of that cup, man, drinking that yayan with him new in the kingdom. That's what we want, man. Fuck this place, man. So we have to keep the faith, man. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep doing what we need to do in order to get the hell up out of here, man. It's what it's all about, man. You can't doubt, man. You have to have that solid faith, man. Because our faith is what's going to get us out of here, man. Proving our faith in this time, going out to the highways and byways, studying, watching videos, learning, continuously learning, right? Growing in the grace and knowledge of Yahweh Shai, man. It's what it's about, man. And I don't want to drag this. I don't want to drag this along, man. But I want to grab this scripture right here. It says Revelation chapter 3 and verse. I don't know. Revelation chapter 3 and 11 says, "Behold, I come quickly." Right, and times are speeding up, man. We're getting closer to Yahweh Shai's coming, man. So Yahweh Shai, and he's about to come, man. Right, and this is red letter, right? You see Yahweh Shai speaking, right? "Behold, I come quickly. Hold fast which thou hast, that no man might take thy crown." Right, man. And this is talking about this faith in Yahweh Shai, this word, man. Holding tight to to our faith in Yahweh Shai, and continue to engage and indulge in this word, man. This is what we need to do. This is what's going to get us out of here, man. The word is what's going to get us through the times to come, and our faith in Yahweh Shai is what's going to get us delivered, man. So we have to continue to push forward, man, at all times, because the times that are coming are not going to be favorable times. It's going to be a very bad time, and only way that we can get through it is we have Yahweh Shai, man. You know? So keep pushing, keep the faith, keep doing what is necessary, man. We're almost out of here, man. So that's all I really got, Lord will. It was edifying, Lord will, straight to the point. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachach Wadash, a double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Hakim out here pushing this gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability given to them by Yahweh Yahweh Shai. A peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, be upon all your houses. I want to say shalom till next time.